Ambassador, thank you so much again to be in our show. So the 2024 FOCAC Beijing Summit was just successfully concluded, and it's the fourth summit in FOCAC history, and it's also the largest diplomatic event hosted by China with the most attendance of foreign leaders. So what's your feeling participating in it?
The FOCAC summit of Beijing was successful by all means. It was successful, first of all, by the high number of attendance of chief of states and governments and foreign ministers. And it was also successful by its outcome, the Beijing Declaration and the Beijing Action Plan, which gave the guidelines of the relations and cooperation between China and the African continent for the coming years.
During the summit, the leaders of both sides met and advocate to strengthen the cooperation in many areas of infrastructure, trade, investment, tourism, education, etc. And your Prime Minister said that Morocco has been advocating China, to build a very solid pillar to the development of African development. So, what's your interpretation to his words?
First of all, your viewers certainly know that Africa is of the main pillars of our foreign policy in Morocco. Our roots are in Africa. We belong to this continent. Now, of course, China is putting the African continent also among its priorities in terms of international relations, in terms of cooperation for development, in terms of economic partnership, etc. So it was then natural that our objectives together meet towards the better involvement of China and Morocco in the policies dedicated to the development of the continent. As an African country, also to seize this opportunity of FOCAC and the announcement that were made to boost our bilateral relations as well.
This year, Morocco overtook South Africa to be the largest automobile producer in Africa. And I know you once said that in areas of new energy and hybrid car manufacturing, we are quite complementary to each other, China and Morocco. So what cooperation opportunities do you see in these areas? And how do you think it will promote economic development between our two countries?
Now, of course, with China, we are very ambitious to the future of our cooperation in the field of cars, especially hybrid and electrical, for two reasons. The first is that China has a very strong experience, technology in this field, and it's a priority, I think, of the production of cars in China to switch to hybrid and electrical cars. Secondly, from the Moroccan part, we have also developed very strong experience. We have the human skills and we have the raw materials for that. And if you put this together and you add to it the very good business environment and ecosystem of car investments that we have developed in Morocco, as I said, for the last 20 years, it is, I think, very natural that Chinese and Moroccan car industry companies will put their means together to develop a partnership in this field to produce not only for Morocco, but to produce for European market, for African market, which is growing very fastly, for Latin American market.
China held the third plenary session of the 20th Central Committee of the CPC. The resolution comes out and it calls for expanding China's globally oriented network for free trade area. And I know in recent years there has been very positive progress for the construction of African continent free trade area. So for construction of the free trade area, how do you think China and Africa can complement each other? And how will it promote, inject energy to our cooperation opportunities?
Yes, in the African continent, under the umbrella of the African Union, there is a very ambitious project to launch a free trade zone between African countries. Of course, this will be done progressively because the conditions are not the same for the African countries from the legal point of view, from the economic point of view, from the trade point of view, etc., etc. Now, of course, China I think, is also willing to conclude in the future an agreement of free trade with the African continent as a whole, and to start, I think, with bilateral free trade agreements with the African countries. It's an active member of WTO, and we have now discussions with our Chinese friends to see how we can pursue this objective with, of course, the preservation of the interests of each country and each part.
My last question for you is also very good news for Chinese tourists. The Royal Air Morocco announced that it will resume the direct flight from Casablanca to Beijing from January next year. It will have promoted tourism of Morocco. So what's your expectation to this?
Of course, I am very happy to announce to your viewers that the Royal Air Morocco will resume its direct flight to China as of January 20, 2025. I hope that we will intensify our direct flights between the two countries for at least two reasons. The first is, of course, tourism. You know that Morocco is a visa-free country for Chinese tourists. The second reason is that, of course, on the other way around, we have also many Moroccans now wishing to visit China as a tourist, as a new destination, and as an interesting historical destination and cultural destination. Secondly, business is developing very quickly. Trade, but also the fact that we have a lot of Chinese companies now being present in Morocco, and certainly they will need direct flights. The third, which is also very important to know for your viewers, is that Casablanca is a hub, and in a very positive way. We think that a lot of Chinese willing to go to West and Central Africa can make a stopover in Casablanca because it's the easiest and the quickest way to go to these countries. So I think these three reasons give all the arguments. First, to open very quickly direct flights to Morocco.
Really looking forward to it. That's very rich content sharing from you. Thank you so much, Ambassador.
Thank you very much.